Chosen one. Stop for a moment and listen, because heaven is leaning in over you right now. You feel it, don't you? That tug in your spirit, that sudden stillness in the air, that whisper that tells you, this moment is not random. You are not hearing these words by accident. Something sacred pauses the noise around you, so you can finally hear what has been spoken over your life since before you were born. You are God's chosen one, set apart, marked, watched over, not by your enemies first, but by heaven itself. You walk through life thinking you are overlooked, unnoticed, forgotten, but heaven has been watching you with a gaze that never shifts, never sleeps, never loses focus. You move, and the atmosphere adjusts. You breathe, and the spiritual realm rearranges. You take one small obedient step, and angels are reassigned to your path. You may not feel extraordinary, but chosen ones rarely do at the beginning. You've been misunderstood, pushed aside, underestimated, yet every wound, every rejection, every silent tear has been preparing you for this one truth. All eyes have been on you, long before you ever realized you were being watched. Heaven's eyes, divine eyes that see not who you've been, but who you are becoming. People may have ignored you, but heaven never did. People may have overlooked you, but God marked you. People may have doubted you, but the Spirit kept guiding you. And now, beloved, the season has shifted. The divine spotlight over your life grows brighter, and you can feel it. You sense that something is aligning, something is awakening, something is rising inside you that you can no longer push down or deny. Because the truth is this: you carry a light that refuses to stay hidden. You carry an assignment that cannot be stolen. You carry a fire that darkness has tried and failed to put out. And now, heaven wants you to know exactly why the world reacts to you the way it does. Why people stare. Why strangers sense something different. Why you walk into a room and atmospheres shift. Why you have survived battles others would have collapsed under. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to be invisible. You were never meant to shrink to make others comfortable. You are chosen, and heaven has been watching over every step you take. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, you are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. That is why you stand out. That is why darkness fears you. That is why people who don't even know you can feel your presence before you speak a word. You shine without trying. Because the light in you is not human, it is divine. It is placed, not earned. It is given, not manufactured. It is the signature of heaven on your life. Chosen one. Lean in. Because this matters. The moment you were marked by God, you became visible to realms you cannot see. Heaven watches you with protection. Angels watch you with assignment. Darkness watches you with frustration. And people watch you with confusion, curiosity, or jealousy, because they cannot explain what surrounds you. But heaven can. Heaven knows exactly who you are becoming. And right now, heaven is calling you to do something simple yet powerful. Stand in your identity. Don't shrink. Don't hide. Don't apologize. Don't dim your light to make those who fear your brightness more comfortable. You are stepping into a season where your visibility is increasing. Your influence is awakening. and your purpose is rising to the surface. This is why you feel the shift. This is why you feel the pressure. This is why you feel the eyes on you, because the story is changing. The spotlight is widening. Heaven is positioning you where your light cannot be ignored. And before this section closes, hear this clearly. If these words speak to your spirit, if you know they are for you, then do one act of alignment. Tap, like, share this message, and subscribe, so you remain connected to every prophetic word heaven sends your way. And in the comments, type the number 111, the number of divine alignment and spiritual awakening, as a declaration that you receive what heaven has spoken. You feel it even when you try to ignore it, the weight of being watched. Not the kind of watching that comes from people gossiping, assuming, or judging, but something deeper, older, and far more intentional. You sense eyes on you when you move through your day, when you're alone with your thoughts, when you're lying awake at night wondering why your life has unfolded the way it has. This awareness isn't paranoia. It's spiritual sensitivity. It's the awakening of someone who is beginning to recognize their true identity as a chosen vessel, chosen one. You have walked through seasons where you felt completely unseen, unheard, unnoticed. You convinced yourself that you blended into the background, that no one cared enough to pay attention. But heaven watched every step, not casually, but purposefully. Even when you thought no one cared, heaven cared enough to track your footsteps. Even when you felt abandoned, heaven guarded your beginnings and endings. Even when you cried in silence, heaven counted every tear. There is a gaze over your life that never shifts. It follows you not to control you, but to protect you. It doesn't watch you to condemn, but to guide. This watchfulness is not the gaze of human eyes. It is the eternal vigilance of the one who called you, shaped you, and assigned you. You are not wandering. You are not drifting. You are being supervised by heaven. And this gaze is not neutral. It is invested. It is intentional. It is deeply protective. You may think your survival was luck, coincidence, or your own strength, but heaven knows better. Someone watched over you when you could not watch over yourself. Someone saw the dangers you never recognized. Someone redirected you when you were walking straight into disaster. Someone shielded you from the schemes people created behind your back. Someone preserved you while others hoped to see you fall. You didn't just make it. You were carried. But with divine watchfulness comes pressure, not the pressure of punishment, but the pressure of purpose. Because the more heaven watches, the more darkness pays attention to. The more heaven guards you. The more the enemy studies you, the more heaven marks you. The more the world recognizes, sometimes subconsciously, that you are different. This is why people react unpredictably to you. This is why you confuse them. This is why strangers stare a second longer. This is why some people feel intimidated without reason. They don't see what heaven sees, but they feel the effect of it. They sense a weight on you, a presence around you, a calling on you that cannot be fully explained. You are watched not just by heaven, but by the spiritual realm that opposes heaven. This is why your life has never been normal. This is why you cannot hide, even when you try. This is why your steps feel heavier than others, because every move you make matters. You are a carrier of something sacred, and anything sacred draws attention. But let this truth settle into your spirit now. The eyes that matter most are the ones that never leave you. the ones that follow you into the storm, the ones that cover you when you sleep, the ones that guard your coming and your going. Others may watch you out of curiosity or envy, but heaven watches you out of covenant. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 121, verse 8. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. These are not poetic words. They are a spiritual reality. Every exit you've taken, every entrance you've stepped into, every transition, every detour, every acceleration, every delay, none of it was unseen. Heaven monitored it with precision. When you walked away from situations that were killing you, heaven recorded that step. When you entered rooms you weren't qualified for, heaven opened that door. When you turned back to God after wandering, heaven marked that moment as a pivot point in your destiny. And this truth carries weight. Since heaven watches you, nothing that touches your life goes unnoticed. Every injustice will be accounted for. Every betrayal will be balanced. Every loss will be redeemed. Every hidden wound will be healed. The one who watches does not forget. You are not floating through existence hoping things work out. You are being led, observed, covered, and positioned. And the pressure you feel is the evidence of heaven's investment in your life. Pressure means purpose. Watchfulness means calling. Being seen means being chosen. The weight you feel is not a burden, it is a crown still taking shape. Walk with this awareness. Chosen one, you are watched not for destruction, but for destiny, not for judgment, but for preparation, not for exposure, but for elevation, not for failure, but for fulfillment. And the world is just beginning to see what heaven has always known about you. You feel it before it happens. Something pauses your steps, slows your breathing, stills your thoughts. It's as if an unseen hand reaches into your day and places everything on hold. Chosen one. This is not coincidence. This is not interruption. This is divine intervention. Heaven is stopping you because you were about to walk past something meant for you, or into something that would have harmed you. When you belong to God, your steps are not allowed to drift without purpose. Even your delays carry destiny. There have been moments when you felt frustrated because plans collapsed, doors closed, or people walked away. You called it rejection, but heaven called it protection. You thought you were being blocked, but heaven was redirecting you. You tried to push forward, but a force bigger than your will pulled you back, not to punish you, but to preserve you. You have to understand this. Chosen ones don't move on human timing. They move on divine instruction. And when heaven sees danger, you cannot see. Heaven interrupts. You've had sudden moments where your spirit said, "Wait," even though your mind didn't understand why. Those moments saved you. You've had situations where you felt an unexplained urge to stop, to rethink, to turn around, to slow down. Those weren't random thoughts, those were instructions. You think you're just living life, but heaven is guiding you like a parent, guiding a child across a busy street. Sometimes the interruption is gentle, a whisper pulling you back. Other times it's forceful, a collapse that stops you cold. But the intention is always the same, steering you into destiny, steering you away from destruction. Before breakthrough comes, heaven often rearranges everything around you. And that rearrangement feels like confusion until you see the purpose behind it. You've been in places where you didn't feel peace. You sensed something was off. Wrong. Heavy. You tried to proceed anyway, thinking your logic could override your spirit. But heaven confronted you. Not this way. Not this time. Not this path. And you didn't know it then. But that interruption kept your future intact. Every time God halts your steps, something unseen is being shifted. Heaven does not only speak through miracles, it speaks through redirection. When things stop working, heaven is speaking. When you feel resistance, heaven is speaking. When you feel no peace, heaven is speaking. When an opportunity dissolves out of nowhere, heaven is speaking. And when your spirit becomes restless, even though everything looks good on the outside, heaven is screaming. As the ancient words of the prophet remind us in the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 21, whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." That voice has always been there. Even when you didn't recognize it, that inner pull towards certain people and away from others, that was the voice. That sudden conviction you felt when you were about to make the wrong choice, that was the voice. That peace that washed over you when you stepped into alignment, that was the voice. Heaven has never been silent. You were simply learning how to hear. Chosen one. The reason heaven interrupts your steps so strongly is because your destiny is too valuable to be left to chance. Your calling is too weighty. Your future is too prophetic. Your assignment is too important. You are too marked to be allowed to walk into the wrong room, and heaven takes responsibility for those it chooses. That means sometimes God will drag you away from people you wanted, environments you liked, and paths you thought were safe, because what feels comfortable is not always aligned. There are moments in your life where you didn't lose something. Heaven removed it. You didn't fail. Heaven redirected you. You weren't abandoned. Heaven rescued you. You didn't miss the opportunity. Heaven protected you from what was hiding inside it. You aren't behind schedule. You are right on divine timing. And now, heaven is inviting you to acknowledge this truth, not with fear, but with surrender. When God interrupts you, it is because God is elevating you. When God says, "Stop," it is because something ahead is not worthy of you. When God says, "Wait," it is because something better is being prepared. When God says, "Turn," it is because what you left behind was not part of your next chapter. If your spirit feels this word, speak alignment by commenting the phrase, "Lead me, Lord." It is short, but it is powerful. It is a declaration that you choose divine direction over your own understanding. It is you saying, "I trust the interruptions because I trust the one who interrupts." Walk forward with this truth alive inside you. Heaven will not let you walk blindly. Every step you take is supervised. Every path you walk is evaluated. Every direction you choose is measured against your destiny. And when heaven intervenes, it is always, always for your good. You've always felt it. Long before you had language for it, the way certain rooms grow tense when you enter, the way certain people shift uncomfortably around you, the way conversations abruptly change the moment you walk in. You notice the glances, the whispers, the strange energy that moves through the atmosphere like a silent current. You thought it was you. You wondered if you had done something wrong, said something wrong, or simply existed in a way that made people uneasy. But, chosen one, The truth is far simpler and far more powerful. Your light exposes what others try to hide. You carry something in your spirit that darkness cannot sit comfortably beside. Your presence reveals motives. Your intuition exposes lies. Your discernment uncovers hidden intentions without you even trying. You don't need to confront anyone. Your very existence confronts the shadows they hoped no one would see. This is why some people avoided you without reason. This is why some felt intimidated before you even spoke. This is why some grew distant after getting close. This is why some admired you secretly, but disliked you openly. It wasn't your personality. It wasn't your mistakes. It wasn't your tone. It was your light. Where you walk, truth walks. Where you stand, clarity stands. Where you show up, spiritual reality is revealed. And not everyone can handle that. Some people cling to their shadows so tightly that the moment your light touches them, they scatter. Others run because they fear being seen for who they really are. And a few stay close because your presence awakens something in them they thought they lost. Your light is not gentle, it is disruptive. It shakes atmospheres. It exposes intentions. It reveals hearts. This is why you have always sensed resistance before you even understood why. Light does not negotiate with darkness, it replaces it. As Scripture says in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 5, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." Darkness doesn't just dislike you, it cannot overcome you. It cannot silence you. It cannot extinguish what God placed inside you. And that frustrates the spiritual forces that wanted to keep you quiet, small, hidden, and doubting yourself. That's why you faced attacks that felt unreasonable. That's why you've been targeted in ways that made no logical sense. Darkness reacts violently to anything it cannot control. But here is what you must understand. Your light isn't only a weapon, it's a mirror. When people come near you, they end up seeing themselves. The ones who have goodness in them feel inspired. The ones living in confusion feel exposed. The ones carrying secrets feel uncomfortable. And the ones who hide behind false confidence feel threatened. Your presence reveals what their own hearts have tried to ignore. This is why you've seen people who once admired you suddenly pull away, not because you changed, but because your growth made them confront the parts of themselves they refused to heal. Your light revealed their shadows, and instead of facing them, they ran. You've also seen people drawn to you, even if they couldn't explain it. Your light reminded them of who they were meant to be. It made them hungry for truth. It made them aware of their potential. It ignited something in them that was buried beneath fear or pain. Light doesn't just expose darkness, it awakens destiny. This is why some felt safe with you instantly. This is why some opened their hearts to you without hesitation. This is why some felt they could trust you even when they trusted no one else. You awakened clarity in them. You brought peace to their chaos. Your light didn't expose them, it healed them. But understand this, when God gives you a light this strong, He also gives you the strength to carry it. You were never meant to shrink for anyone. You were never meant to dim yourself. You were never meant to apologize for the brightness placed inside you. Your purpose requires visibility. Your assignment requires exposure. Your calling requires illumination. And the world needs the light you carry, whether they know it or not. Chosen one, you are not responsible for how people react to your light. You are only responsible for shining. The shadows that fall away will fall away. The ones who cannot handle you will distance themselves. The ones who need your presence will draw near. But you must continue walking in the fullness of who you are. Your light is not accidental. It is intentional. It is divine. And it is necessary. You've noticed it, haven't you? Chosen one? The way certain people who once dismissed you now watch your every move. The ones who thought you were nothing special suddenly pay close attention. The ones who underestimated you now speak your name with caution. It's almost strange how the very people who doubted your calling have become students of your becoming. They study you quietly. Like someone watching a seed they once ignored suddenly break through the soil. But let me tell you the truth behind this shift. Your anointing has made you impossible to overlook. When God breathes on someone, that life becomes a living message, a walking prophecy, a rising flame. And flames attract attention. Some come for warmth. Others come out of curiosity. And a few come because they hope to extinguish what they fear. You've carried battles that no one saw. You've walked through storms that would have drowned others. You've endured attacks that weren't fair, weren't expected, and weren't provoked. But what they didn't understand is that every battle sharpened you, every storm strengthened you, every attack activated something deeper in your spirit. And now, because they cannot explain your resilience, they study you. Because they cannot deny your rise, they observe you. Because they cannot understand your grace, they whisper about you. And because they cannot destroy what heaven protects, they fear you. The Spirit spoke through the prophet in the sacred book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17. No weapon formed against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that rises against you. Read that again in your heart. This isn't just comfort, it's a courtroom verdict. A divine declaration stamped over your existence. Weapons formed? Yes. Weapons successful? Never. Some watched you hoping to see your downfall. Others watched because they wanted to understand how you keep standing. They wanted to know how you rise when logic says you shouldn't, how your heart softens instead of hardening, how your spirit grows instead of breaking. It's because anointing makes you move differently. You walk through fire like a river. You stand in storms like a mountain. You face betrayal like a warrior who has already tasted victory. And when people observe this, it does something inside them. Some become inspired. Some become confused. Some become convicted. And some become threatened. Your life has become a mirror, revealing who people really are. The humble learn from you. The envious talk about you. The insecure compete with you. But everyone, in some way, is watching, because heaven placed a fire on you that refuses to be ignored. And chosen one, you must understand something. When your anointing increases, the eyes watching you increase. It's like standing in an open field at night, holding a lantern. The moths come, the wanderers come, and even the predators notice the glow. But the light isn't meant to hide. The lantern must shine because the night is dark and many are searching. Your life is that lantern. Your growth is that flame. Your resilience is that glow. And the watchers, both the sincere and the insincere, are drawn because heaven made you luminous. But let me speak to your heart gently now. Using imagery you can feel, when someone plants a tree, no one pays attention to the seed. But when the branches begin to rise and the leaves begin to grow, suddenly everyone wants shade, fruit, or wood. Some approach with appreciation, some approach with need, and others approach with axes. But the tree does not stop growing because of who watches. It grows because that is what it was created to do. And you, chosen one, must grow, must rise, must continue, regardless of who is watching. Now, in the spirit of sincerity and honor, if these words resonate with your journey, with your growth, with the fire God placed within you, then consider supporting this work, not out of pressure, not out of guilt, but the way someone waters the tree that gives them shade. A like or a share is like rain, helping the message reach further, touch more hearts, awaken more chosen ones. A subscription is like tending the soil, staying connected, so the journey continues. And if you feel led to donate, see it as placing a stone at the base of the altar that is being built through these words, an act of alignment, a gesture of gratitude, a seed into the soil that has fed your spirit. Only if your heart feels it, only if your spirit agrees, only if it brings peace, not pressure, because your journey matters, your calling matters, your anointing matters, and heaven is not done elevating you yet. You've sensed it your entire life, that invisible presence that seemed to move with you, ahead of you, behind you, even in the seasons when you felt completely alone. Something in your spirit whispered, "You are not walking this path by yourself." And chosen one, that whisper was true. You have never walked a single step unguarded. There is an angel assigned to your path, not a poetic idea, not a comforting metaphor, a spiritual reality. From the moment you were chosen, a heavenly guardian appointed, instructed, and commissioned began walking beside you. You didn't choose them, heaven chose them for you. And not because you are fragile, but because your destiny is fierce. The greater the calling, the stronger the protection, the higher the assignment, the heavier the angelic covering. And if you look back, you'll see signs of their presence everywhere. Think of the moment you nearly went down a road that would have destroyed you, yet something tugged you away. Think of the accident you avoided by seconds because you glanced back one more time. Think of the relationship that suddenly collapsed without explanation, only for you to later realize it would have broken you in ways you could not survive. Think of the night you cried, feeling forgotten, yet somehow woke up with strength that didn't come from your own heart. That wasn't coincidence. That wasn't intuition. That wasn't luck. That was guidance. It was protection. It was intervention. It was angelic assignment. Because heaven does not just call you, heaven covers you. The ancient words recorded by David in the Psalms, chapter 91, verse 11 declare, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." End of 4. Heaven commands them, not suggests, not invites, commands. This means your angel is not wandering, not observing from a distance, not occasionally checking in. They are guarding you in all your ways, your emotional ways, your spiritual ways, your physical ways, your hidden ways, your confused ways, your broken ways, your rising ways. Every path you walk is under surveillance from heaven, and this explains the unexplainable moments of your life. It explains why certain dangers never reached you. It explains why certain betrayals were exposed before they could hurt you. It explains why certain people couldn't stay close, even though you tried to hold on to them. It explains why the plot against you never worked. Even when it came from people you trusted, your angel blocked what your eyes couldn't see. Sometimes protection looks like a door closing. Sometimes protection looks like a delay. Sometimes protection looks like isolation. Sometimes protection looks like loss. But every time, protection is love. You may not have realized this, but angels are not only protectors, they are watchers. They study your path to ensure alignment. They push back darkness when it gets too close. They nudge your spirit when danger draws near. And they battle in realms you will never see. For threats you will never know existed. There are attacks you never felt because your angel intercepted them. There are curses that never touched you because they were blocked before reaching your life. There are traps you never stepped into because heaven dismantled them before you arrived. You survived because someone was fighting for you. Chosen one. If you ever wondered why you are still standing, this is why. You weren't just protected. You were preserved. You were kept. You were covered. And now, heaven wants you to walk with awareness. Not fear, not pride. Awareness. The awareness that you are guided every day, every hour, every moment by a heavenly presence assigned specifically to your life. And right now, I want you to mark this moment, because when you acknowledge the presence of what heaven assigned to you, something in the spiritual realm aligns more deeply with your path. If this word speaks to your spirit, comment the number 444 below. Why 444? Because it symbolizes angelic alignment and divine guardianship, a reminder that you do not walk alone, and you never will. Type it as a declaration, not a decoration. Type it as recognition, not ritual. Type it because your spirit knows this is true. Walk forward knowing this. Where you go, heaven goes. What you face, heaven sees. Before the battle begins, heaven prepares. You are guided. You are guarded. You are covered. Always. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life when the atmosphere shifts so suddenly, so unmistakably, that you can almost feel the turning of a spiritual wheel. It is not loud, not dramatic, not explosive. It is quiet, steady, and sovereign. One day you wake up and something in the air is different. The pressure that once felt like it was crushing you begins to loosen. The storm that seemed endless starts losing its strength. The attacks that once hit you relentlessly begin to fall short, and you realize with a kind of holy clarity the tables are turning, not by your effort, not by your strategy, not by your force. Heaven is turning them. For so long you felt surrounded, outnumbered, misunderstood, even targeted. People misread your silence as weakness, your patience as passivity, your humility as lack of power. They thought your setbacks were permanent, your heartbreak was final, and your vulnerable moments proved you were breakable. But chosen ones break differently. When others expect you to shatter, you transform. When they expect you to fall apart, you rise in a form they never saw coming. And now, as heaven rearranges your story, those who once watched you through the lens of limitation are being forced to see you through the lens of truth. What they meant for harm did not destroy you, it matured you. What they intended to break you only deepened your wisdom. What they used to shame you only expanded your endurance. And what they tried to block only redirected you into destiny. It is not that the attacks weren't painful, they were. They wounded you deeply. They cost you comfort, trust, time, and pieces of your heart you are still learning to reclaim. But suffering in the life of the chosen is never wasted. It becomes revelation, fuel, and growth. And heaven uses the very experiences designed to bury you, to build you instead. The sacred text recorded in the book of Genesis, chapter 50, verse 20, speaks with timeless accuracy. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done. None. This truth is not metaphorical for you. It is autobiographical. You lived this. You walked through betrayal that tried to drain your hope. You endured seasons that tried to silence your calling. You survived people who misjudged your character and spoke on your life as if they understood your assignment. And yet here you are, still rising, still breathing, still transforming, still chosen. The very things that were designed to break you became the soil where your strength grew. What was meant to destroy you became the womb where your destiny began to form. And now, in this present moment, the tables turn not simply in your favor, but in your revelation. You begin to see clearly the reasons behind certain losses, certain delays, certain separations. You begin to understand why heaven removed you from certain people and pulled you out of certain environments. You recognize that some relationships would have drowned you, some opportunities would have caged you, and some paths you desired would have derailed the purpose silently unfolding in your life. The turning of the tables is not only about your vindication, it is about your elevation. And elevation often requires separation. But something else is happening now. Something subtle and profound. Those who once observed your struggle from a distance now observe your rise with a mixture of awe, confusion, reverence, and regret. They are seeing what heaven always saw. They are realizing you were never the weak one, never the forgotten one, never the overlooked one. You were becoming. You were maturing. You were being refined in a fire they assumed would consume you, not realizing it was forging your unbreakable essence. And what shocks them most is not your survival, but your transformation. You did not come out bitter. You came out wise. You did not come out resentful. You came out discerning. You did not come out empty. You came out equipped. You did not come out fearful. You came out powerful. The tables turn when heaven decides your season of hiddenness has served its purpose. And now you must be seen not for validation, but for assignment. Your rise is not for applause. It is for impact. Your visibility is not for ego, it is for purpose. Your elevation is not for status, it is for the fulfillment of what you were created to carry. Chosen one. The turning of the tables is not an event, it is a process awakening around you, within you, and before you, and as it unfolds, everything that once pressed you down becomes the platform that lifts you up. Everything that once intimidated you becomes the evidence of your endurance. Everything that once felt like loss becomes the foundation of gain. You are stepping into a chapter where heaven reveals what darkness tried to hide. You were never the victim of your story. You were always the vessel heaven was preparing. There is a cost to carrying divine fire, a weight that settles on the soul of every chosen one. You feel it not only in the battles you face, but in the very structure of your being, your thoughts, your emotions, your responsibilities. You walk through life with a flame inside you that refuses to be quiet. refuses to die, refuses to let you settle for anything less than what heaven placed inside you. This fire is both a gift and a burden, a blessing and a stretching, a source of strength and, at times, a source of deep exhaustion. Most people around you will never understand this. They don't see the spiritual pressure you carry. They don't feel the fire pushing against your chest when you try to stay silent about something you were meant to speak. They don't sense the inner pull urging you forward when everything in your surroundings tells you to sit down, be quiet, or give up. They see the glow, but they don't see the burning. They see the strength, but they don't see the struggle. They see the resilience, but they don't feel the weight of the calling that shapes every part of your existence. Chosen one. Carrying divine fire means you cannot live a normal life. You can't ignore truth the way others do. You can't participate in things your spirit rejects. You can't force yourself into environments where your light doesn't belong. You can't stay comfortable in places heaven has already called you out of. You feel out of place in conversations that lack depth. You feel restless in atmospheres that lack purpose. You feel drained around people who lack intention. You feel suffocated around anything that tries to dim your flame. This is not emotional sensitivity, it is spiritual alignment. The fire inside you demands purity, demands truth, demands direction, demands obedience. And obedience is not always easy. In fact, it is one of the hardest parts of being chosen. There were moments when you wanted to walk away from your calling, moments when you wished you could lay down the responsibility, moments when you tried to convince yourself that you didn't want what heaven was pulling you toward. But no matter how far you ran, the fire stayed with you. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 20, verse 9. His word is in my heart like a fire shut up in my bones. I am weary of holding it in. Oh, you know this feeling intimately. You've tried to silence what burns within you, and it exhausted you. You've tried to shrink yourself to fit into lives and spaces not meant for you, and it suffocated you. You've tried to ignore your gifts, but they kept resurfacing. You've tried to quiet your discernment, but it kept warning you. You've tried to pretend you were ordinary, but your spirit refused to play small. The fire inside you is not optional, it's divine, and anything divine demands expression. That is why you often feel torn between who you used to be and who you are becoming. It's why your spirit feels restless in stagnant seasons. It's why you carry a sense of urgency, even when nothing externally appears urgent. The fire is pushing you into transformation, and transformation rarely feels gentle. Carrying divine fire also means your battles will be different. You won't fight surface-level problems. You'll face spiritual resistance that comes because of the power you carry. Darkness recognizes the flame, and it knows what it threatens. That is why your life has been more intense than others, why you've endured storms that didn't match your age, why you've navigated pain that felt disproportionate to your circumstances. Fire attracts both attention and opposition, but opposition only proves the authenticity of what burns within you. Yet even in the wait, even in the stretching, even in the moments when you feel like collapsing under the pressure, there is something remarkable about divine fire. It does not consume you, it refines you. It burns away fear, doubt, insecurity, and the remnants of who you used to be. It purifies your intentions, elevates your character, and sharpens your discernment. It teaches you to trust God more deeply, to surrender more fully, and to walk more boldly. Chosen one. You are not overwhelmed because you are weak. You are overwhelmed because you are transforming. The fire inside you is shaping you into someone unshakable, someone unstoppable, someone capable of carrying the assignment heaven has prepared. Growth often feels like breaking, but it is forming you into the vessel you were always meant to become. Do not fear the fire. Do not resent the fire. Do not suppress the fire. Let it shape you. Let it stretch you. Let it strengthen you. For this fire, though heavy, though demanding, though consuming, is the very thing that will lead you into the fullness of your destiny. There is a moment in your journey, chosen one, when the noise of life becomes so overwhelming that you can no longer tell what is pulling you forward and what is pulling you away. You try to discern direction, but everything feels loud voices, opinions, expectations, memories, fears. The world around you demands so much attention that the voice within you becomes harder to hear. Yet it is in this very place of noise, clutter, and confusion that heaven often chooses to speak the softest. Because God does not compete with noise, God cuts through it. And when heaven wants to guide a chosen one, the message rarely arrives as thunder, lightning, or a spectacle. Instead, it comes as a whisper, gentle, subtle, unmistakable, a whisper that touches not your ears, but your spirit, a whisper you can miss if you aren't paying attention. Yet once you hear it, it echoes through your whole being. There have been moments in your life when you felt something shift internally and you didn't know why. No one spoke to you. Nothing dramatic happened, but suddenly you sensed clarity, peace, or warning. That wasn't your imagination. That was the whisper, the divine nudge, the spiritual thread pulling you into alignment. It may have sounded like a quiet thought. Don't go there. Oud, wait a little longer. Oud, this isn't right. Oud, you need to leave. Oud, say yes. Oud, trust me. Oh, heaven often speaks in simple sentences, not paragraphs, in gentle impressions, not forceful commands. The whisper is not meant to overwhelm you, it's meant to draw you closer. And the closer you lean in, the clearer the voice becomes. The prophet Elijah experienced this in one of the most fragile moments of his life. He looked for God in the dramatic signs in the wind, the earthquake, the fire. But heaven chose a different method. As written in the first book of Kings, chapter 19, verse 12, after the fire came a gentle whisper. God was in the whisper, and God is still in the whisper. You've had seasons where you begged for answers, prayed for clarity, waited for signs, and yet nothing seemed to happen. You expected lightning, but God sent a whisper. You expected fireworks, but heaven gave you a quiet knowing. You expected a voice so loud it would drown out your fear, but God gave you a voice so gentle it bypassed your fear entirely. The whisper does not shout over the storm, it speaks beneath it. This is why the whisper often comes in moments you least expect, when you are still, when you are exhausted, when you are emotionally raw, or when you finally stop trying to control everything. It enters your spirit like a soft breeze moving through a silent room. And the whisper always comes before breakthrough, not afterward, not during, before. It is heaven's way of preparing you, strengthening you, and guiding you through the spiritual turning point that is forming just ahead. When heaven whispers, it means something is shifting, even if nothing around you has changed yet. But here's what many do not understand. The whisper is a test of intimacy. God whispers to those who draw near, not because God hides from you, but because God invites you to come closer. Anyone can hear thunder. Only the attentive hear a whisper. This is why your life has been filled with moments where you felt pulled inward, not outward. Times when you needed isolation, quietness, or distance from certain people, not because you were breaking down, but because you were being trained to hear what others cannot hear. Chosen one. The whisper you have been sensing lately is not random. It is not your own intuition. It is not wishful thinking. It is not overthinking disguised as spirituality. It is heaven speaking softly, because heaven is guiding you into something specific. The whisper is the precursor to a door you are about to walk through, a shift you are about to encounter, a revelation you are about to receive, a healing that is already beginning, or an assignment that is awakening. And now, if your spirit recognizes the truth in these words, if you feel that familiar tug inside you, then seal this moment in the simplest way. Comment the phrase, "Speak to me." Just 3 words. Soft, direct, open. Because this phrase is not for algorithmic engagement, it is a spiritual invitation. It is your way of saying, "I am listening," even to the whisper. It is you stepping into awareness, acknowledging heaven's guidance, and positioning your heart to hear more clearly in the days ahead. For the whisper isn't finished. It is only beginning. And what comes next will require a spirit attuned to the quiet voice that has been guiding you all along. There comes a point in the journey of every chosen one when rising is no longer optional, it is inevitable. You feel it like the slow lift of dawn after a long night, like the quiet but unstoppable push of a seed breaking through the soil. Something inside you is expanding, stretching, elevating, and the world around you cannot help but notice the shift. People who never paid attention to you before suddenly glance twice. Those who once doubted you now wait to see what you will become. Even those who dismissed you sense that something is changing. Your elevation has begun, and all eyes rise as you rise. But this rise is not the kind the world recognizes immediately. It does not begin externally. It begins deep inside the spirit, where old fears loosen their grip, where clarity replaces confusion, where peace settles in places that were once filled with anxiety. Your rise began the moment you chose obedience over comfort, healing over bitterness, alignment over distraction. And now, heaven is reflecting that internal shift back into your external reality. What has been growing privately will soon become undeniable publicly. Elevation for a chosen one is not a straight climb. It is more like the tide. It draws back in seeming retreat, only to return with greater force. Every setback was a gathering wave. Every delay was a storing of momentum. Every moment you spent feeling stuck was the deep ocean pulling you into alignment so that your rise would be unstoppable when the time came. You are not rising suddenly. Your rise has been building. Heaven speaks clearly through the ancient words in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 13. The Lord will make you the head and not the tail. You will only go up and not down. This is not poetry. It is a trajectory, a divine direction. a spiritual promise written over your life. You're stepping into a season where your elevation will not be something you force, it will be something you embody. You will rise simply by being who God designed you to be. When heaven chooses someone, their ascent becomes a natural consequence of their identity. You don't have to compete, chase, or prove yourself. Your light rises like a lantern lifted by an unseen hand. Your calling rises like incense drawn upward by heat. Your spirit rises like a kite that catches wind others cannot feel. Imagine a lighthouse on a cliff. It doesn't scream for attention, it simply shines. Ships turn their direction because of it. Waves adjust their path around it. Even storms acknowledge its presence. That's what your rise looks like, quiet, steady, but impossible to ignore. You are becoming a point of reference in places where you were once overlooked. Or imagine a mountain. It does not grow overnight. It forms slowly, layer by layer, pressure upon pressure, until one day its height becomes undeniable. Your experiences, the painful ones, the confusing ones, the sacred ones have been shaping you in the same way. And now your spirit stands taller than the challenges that once towered over you. Your rise is not loud, but it is powerful, not rushed, but inevitable, not flashy, but divinely orchestrated. And because your elevation is visible in the spiritual realm, the earthly realm must respond. Opportunities begin to move toward you like rivers, finally finding their ocean. People who once ignored you start seeking your voice. Doors that were shut begin to loosen at their hinges. And even those who doubted you cannot deny that something higher is lifting you. Chosen one, as you rise, understand this truth. The attention that surrounds you now is not fame, it is recognition. Recognition of your growth, recognition of your resilience, recognition of the divine hand guiding you. Some will watch with admiration, some with curiosity, some with confusion, a few with envy, but all will witness. And because this message reaches you at the exact moment you need it, let me speak sincerely to your heart. If these words have nourished you, if they have strengthened you, if they have lifted you the way a hand lifts a lantern in the dark, then consider supporting this work in whatever way your spirit feels led. A like is like adding another flame to this lighthouse, helping it shine farther. A share is like planting a seed in someone else's soil, giving light to those who are searching. A subscription is like returning to the well where your spirit is fed, staying connected to the flow. And if you ever feel moved to donate, see it not as charity, but as participation, as pouring water into the vessel that pours into you. Only if your heart agrees, only if your spirit clicks into alignment with it. Because this journey is not mine alone, it is ours. And your rise, chosen one, is only beginning. You are stepping into visibility, into impact, into divine elevation. The world will see it. Heaven already has. There are moments in every chosen one's journey when the true watcher steps forward, not in a dramatic unveiling, not in a burst of spiritual fireworks, but in a quiet, penetrating awareness that settles into your spirit like a drop of truth rippling across still water. You begin to sense that the eyes observing your life are not the eyes of people, not the eyes of enemies, not even the eyes of those who love you. The gaze you feel is deeper, older, all-seeing. It is the gaze that has followed you since birth and will follow you into eternity. For so long, you thought you were being watched only by those around you, those who admired you, judged you, misunderstood you, or underestimated you. But the real watcher, the one whose eyes hold your entire story from beginning to end, has been present in every season. You did not always recognize him. Sometimes you thought he was distant. Other times you mistook his silence for absence. But now, something within you awakens to a truth that both humbles and strengthens. The one watching you sees everything, not in the way of surveillance, not in the way of suspicion, in the way of understanding. He sees the steps you take with trembling faith. He sees the tears you shed in the privacy of your room. He sees the battles fought inside your mind, the silent ones no one else knows exist. He sees the moments you choose obedience over comfort, even when it costs you dearly. He sees your intentions, your motives, your struggles, your desire. Nothing about you is hidden, not the light, not the shadow, not the wound, not the potential. The ancient words recorded in the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 13, reveal this truth with piercing clarity. Nothing in all creation is hidden from God's sight. Everything is uncovered and laid bare before the eyes of him to whom we must give account. Israel, for many, these words would stir fear, but for the chosen, they stir peace. Because to be fully seen by God is to be fully known, and to be fully known is to be fully loved. His gaze does not expose you to shame, it exposes you to truth. And truth leads to transformation. You are not watched through a lens of judgment, but through a lens of intimacy. You are understood at depths no human could ever reach. You are interpreted correctly when others misinterpret you. You are measured not by your failures but by your destiny. And the one who watches does not simply observe, he acts. E intervenes. He guides. He corrects. E restores. He strengthens. He protects. In hindsight, you can see the evidence, moments when you felt alone but were never abandoned, crossroads where you didn't know which way to go, and yet something nudged you toward the right path, dark valleys where you should have lost yourself. But somehow you kept walking, attacks that should have crushed you, but somehow you rose again. That somehow was never random. It was the watcher, the one who sees beyond the surface, beyond your current state, beyond the circumstances surrounding you. The one who watches with purpose, not passivity. And what shocks you now is not just that he was watching, but that he was watching with tenderness, watching with patience, watching with a father's heart, watching with a shepherd's vigilance, watching with the intent to bring you into the fullness of who you are becoming. This shift changes everything. It changes how you walk into rooms. It changes how you face challenges. It changes how you interpret your past. It changes how you trust your future. Because when you finally understand that the one watching you is the same one guiding you, correcting you, empowering you, and loving you, then the fear of being misunderstood by others begins to fall away. You were never walking under human scrutiny, you were walking under divine supervision. And as this truth sinks deeper, you begin to realize why certain moments in your life unfolded the way they did. The opportunities you didn't get, the people who left, the stagnation that forced you inward, the blessings that came suddenly, the doors that opened without explanation, the protection that felt like delay, the correction that felt like discomfort. All of it was the hand of the watcher shaping you, teaching you, guarding you, People may have seen your actions, but God saw your heart. People may have seen your struggle, but God saw your strength. People may have seen your mistakes, but God saw your growth. People may have seen your silence, but God saw your prayers. And now you stand in a place where the truth is undeniable. The watcher you never expected, the one you did not realize, was studying your every step is God Himself. And His gaze is not passive, it is purposeful. His eyes are not distant, they are near. His watching is not casual, it is covenant. There is something different about you. Chosen one, something you did not ask for, something you did not learn, something you did not earn. It is not a personality trait, not a habit, not a skill. It is a spiritual mark, a seal placed on you long before you understood what it meant, a marking that cannot be replicated, faked, or imitated. And though you did not always recognize it, everyone around you felt it. People have always reacted to you in ways that felt confusing. Some trusted you instantly without knowing why. Some grew uncomfortable in your presence, even though you said nothing. Some respected you deeply, though you had no titles. Some envied you before you even succeeded. Some watched you with curiosity, others with intimidation. And for so long, you thought it was random, just how people are. Then 14, but it was never random. It was the mark. This mark is not visible to the physical eye, yet it is unmistakable in the spiritual realm. It is like a flame others can sense but cannot touch, a presence others feel but cannot explain, a weight that presses through your silence, your calmness, your stillness. It is the signature of heaven that rests upon the chosen. Some are drawn to it because their spirit recognizes truth. Some avoid it because their shadows cannot stand the light. Some misunderstand it because they lack discernment. Some oppose it because it makes them confront themselves. But all respond to it, none can ignore it. You have lived your entire life marked, even in the seasons when you felt forgotten, marked when you were broken, marked when you were insecure, marked when you were hidden, marked when you doubted yourself. Even then, heaven never removed its seal. This is why certain temptations could never keep you, why certain environments felt suffocating, why certain people were removed from your path, why certain doors closed even when you begged for them to stay open, why you felt restless in places others found comfort. Because the mark refuses to let you settle. It pulls you away from danger, away from misalignment, away from atmospheres that would dull your spirit. It is not a cage, it is a compass. And this mark is not new. It has existed since ancient times. The sacred writings in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9, verse 4, describe it clearly. Go throughout the city and put a mark on the foreheads of those who grieve and lament over all the detestable things done in it. And this was not a physical marking, it was a spiritual identification, a sign that heaven recognized the hearts that stayed aligned with truth, a sign that separated the chosen from the corrupt, the pure-hearted from the hardened, the sensitive from the spiritually numb. Chosen one. That same mark rests upon your life. You have always been different, not because you tried to be, but because heaven distinguished you. You feel spiritual weight in situations others treat casually. You sense danger before it arrives. You discern motives without explanation. You notice details others overlook. You carry compassion even when wounded. You hunger for truth even when it costs you. You cannot tolerate injustice, dishonesty, manipulation, or cruelty. You are drawn to purity, depth, meaning, alignment. This is the evidence of the mark, and because you are marked, your steps do not follow the path of the unassigned. Doors open differently for you. Attacks target you differently. Favor follows you differently. Growth shapes you differently. Even your battles are different, not because they are harder, but because your purpose is greater. The mark has protected you from enemies you did not know you had. The mark has preserved you from spiritual harm. The mark has repelled people who did not belong in your story. The mark has attracted those who were meant to walk with you. And now, you are entering a season where the mark will become even more visible, not physically, but spiritually. People will begin to treat you differently because they feel something shifting in you. Some will honor you more. Some will fear you more. Some will distance themselves without explanation. Others will suddenly be drawn to your presence as if guided by something beyond their understanding. Do not be surprised. Do not be confused. Do not shrink to make others comfortable. The mark is not a burden, it is a calling. And now, to seal this truth within your spirit and acknowledge the marking heaven has placed on your life, comment the number 555 below. 555 symbolizes divine transition and spiritual distinction, a reminder that heaven has identified you, separated you, and prepared you for what comes next. Type it only if your spirit agrees. Type it as recognition, not ritual. Type it because you know you have always been marked. There are moments in your life, chosen one, when a single decision becomes a spiritual earthquake, when heaven and darkness both respond, when the atmosphere bends around your obedience, and when the ripple of your choice reaches realms you cannot see. You may think your daily actions are small, ordinary, insignificant, but a chosen one never moves unnoticed. Every step you take, every yes, every no, every moment of surrender or resistance generates movement in the unseen realm. Many people live reactive lives, moved only by emotion, circumstance, or convenience. But you have never been allowed that kind of casual existence. Your choices echo. They disturb darkness. They activate angels. They shift spiritual climate. You have felt it. Even if you didn't have a name for it, you've sensed the tension before major decisions, an invisible weight pressing against your spirit, trying to influence your direction. That was not coincidence. That was warfare. Everything around you responds to your alignment. When you take one step toward obedience, heaven leans closer. Grace increases. Clarity sharpens. Strength rises. But at the same time, resistance grows louder. Old temptations resurface. Distractions intensify. Unexpected frustrations appear. This is because darkness knows something you haven't fully realized yet. Your obedience is dangerous. When a chosen one aligns with heaven, their life becomes a weapon. Their presence becomes a disruption. Their voice becomes a key that unlocks things for others. Your yes carries weight. You have lived long enough to notice the pattern. Every time you commit to change, something tries to pull you backward. Every time you decide to heal, memories rise from nowhere. Every time you choose peace, conflict circles your mind. Every time you turn toward purpose, chaos tries to break your focus. At first, you thought you were weak. Then you thought you were cursed. But now you understand. The pressure around your decisions is proof of your spiritual influence. If your life had no impact, darkness wouldn't fight you. If your voice carried no authority, resistance wouldn't matter. If your destiny weren't real, the battle wouldn't exist. But the battle does exist, and that is the evidence of your calling. Heaven reacts to your obedience like a locked door responding to the right key. It shifts, opens, and moves. Darkness reacts like a threatened enemy scrambling to defend territory it should have never held. You have seen this even in small things. You choose a healthier thought, and suddenly old insecurities try to rise. You forgive someone, and suddenly resentment revisits your emotions. You step towards your purpose, and suddenly fear whispers lies. But beneath those reactions is the truth. Your spirit is shifting. Your obedience is awakening something. It awakens clarity where there was confusion. It awakens courage where there was hesitation. It awakens identity where there was insecurity. It awakens authority where there was fear. More than that, it awakens destiny. Destiny does not arrive fully formed. It expands inside you every time you choose the path heaven places before you. And the reason obedience has felt costly for you is because God has been teaching you how to carry spiritual weight without breaking. Chosen one. Every decision you've wrestled with has been training. Every moment of surrender has been shaping. Every moment of pushing through resistance has been strengthening you. And now, you stand in a place where your alignment creates immediate spiritual reaction. When you speak truth, heaven moves. When you walk away from what drains you, heaven clears the path. When you forgive, heaven unlocks blessings that were held back. When you let go of what God never assigned, heaven sends what was meant to arrive. When you choose healing, heaven releases restoration. You may think these are emotional choices. They are not. They are warfare. And darkness knows this. That is why the spiritual realm reacts so strongly. You are not choosing between good and bad. You are choosing between bondage and breakthrough, distraction and destiny, survival and purpose. But here is the deeper truth. Your obedience does not only affect you, it affects everyone connected to your assignment. Every person you will help, every life you will influence, every heart you will touch, every atmosphere you will shift, every chain you will break directly or indirectly. Your decisions have generational weight. This is why the pressure has been so intense. You have never been choosing only for yourself, and heaven honors every choice you make toward alignment. Even the small ones, even the imperfect ones, even the hesitant ones. Heaven has always valued your effort more than your perfection. So now, as you move forward, understand this. Your next season is shaped not by chance, but by choice. Not by emotion, but by obedience. Not by fear, but by alignment. And every time you align with heaven, the realm responds, because you are not a passive character in your story. You are a catalyst. Where you move, realms move. Where you stand, ground shifts. Where you align, destiny unfolds. There is a truth about your life, chosen one, that you are only now beginning to fully understand. Your name has been traveling farther than your feet. It has been entering spaces you have never walked into, rising in conversations you didn't initiate, appearing in minds and hearts of people who have never met you. This is not coincidence. This is spiritual influence. This is divine orchestration. This is the quiet revelation that heaven's favor on you is louder than your physical presence. Long before you arrived at certain opportunities, your name went ahead of you. Long before you stepped into certain rooms, something about you, your spirit, your integrity, your resilience, your calling was already being discussed behind unseen doors. The realm of the unseen has been setting the stage for you in ways you never imagined. Chosen ones rarely recognize the magnitude of their influence while they are still being refined. You spent years thinking no one noticed your growth, your effort, your transformation. You assumed your struggles were unseen, your victories unnoticed, your journey invisible. But while you were hidden, heaven was building your reputation. While you were quiet, heaven was echoing your name. While you were healing, heaven was establishing your influence. And now, that echo is reaching people, places, and realms you never thought you would touch. You have to understand this. Your name carries weight. Your presence carries impact. Your spirit carries a signal. Some people are drawn to you without knowing why. Some speak highly of you, even in your absence. Some defend you instinctively. Some admire you secretly. Some feel inspired simply by watching your endurance. They can't explain it, but heaven can. Your name is connected to a purpose greater than your past. It is connected to an assignment larger than your environment. It is connected to a calling that demands recognition even from afar. And this phenomenon is not new. The ancient writings reveal this pattern again and again. Men and women chosen by God often became known in territories they had not yet entered. Their names traveled before their feet, because heaven needed the ground prepared. The atmosphere shifted. The hearts of others softened so that divine alignment could unfold smoothly. This is how purpose spread silently at first. Then suddenly, as the wisdom recorded in the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 16 declares, "A person's gift makes room for them and brings them before great people." End quote. Your gift is making room. Your character is opening doors. Your endurance is earning recognition. Your authenticity is creating impact. Your very existence is shifting the spiritual terrain. You don't need to fight for visibility when heaven is the one amplifying your name. You don't need to force open doors when your purpose is the key that already fits the locks. You don't need to chase validation when the right people are already sensing your significance before meeting you. This is why some individuals treated you with unexpected respect. This is why mentors came into your life without you searching for them. This is why opportunities approached you seemingly out of nowhere. This is why you were protected in places where you had no connections. This is why strangers felt compelled to help you. They were responding to what heaven had already revealed about you. But there is another side to this truth. Your name doesn't travel only to places of blessing. It travels to the ears of those who envy, those who misunderstand, and those who misjudge you. And they talk too. Some out of insecurity, some out of confusion, some out of fear. But even that is part of the process. When heaven elevates someone, conversations become unavoidable. Your rise is being felt even by those who hoped you would stay small. Your influence is being sensed even by those who didn't believe in you. Your presence is being recognized even by those who pretended not to notice. The important thing is this: no conversation can distort the assignment. No opinion can block what heaven has prepared. No misunderstanding can silence your name where God intends it to be spoken. Your name rises because your purpose requires it. And soon, you will walk into rooms where people already know you. You will step into appointments where your reputation precedes you. You will receive favor that seems disproportionate to what you've done. You will be welcomed in spaces you once thought were too far from your reach. Not because of luck, not because of connections, not because of effort alone, but because heaven has already introduced you. Chosen one. Your name is echoing, not loudly, not boastfully, not forcefully, but steadily, purposefully, divinely. The world is preparing for someone it has not yet seen fully. And that someone is you. There comes a moment when the unseen steps into the visible, when the quiet watcher no longer remains hidden in the shadows of your journey. Up until now, you have moved through life surrounded by whispers, instincts, feelings, internal nudges, knowing someone was watching, but not knowing who. You sensed eyes on you in the spirit. I felt pressure. You couldn't explain. Experienced both protection and resistance that seemed to rise from nowhere. But now, chosen one. The watcher steps into the light, and the identity of the one observing you becomes unmistakably clear. You once believed it was merely people, friends, enemies, strangers, critics, and yes, many have watched you, but none of them were the true source of that deep, penetrating gaze you felt in your spirit. The watcher who steps forward now is not human, not earthly, not limited. It is the one who has known you in every season, seen you in every valley, lifted you in every collapse, guided you in every confusion, and covered you in every storm. Heaven reveals the truth gently. You have been watched by God Himself, not watched in judgment, but in intention, not watched in distance, but in closeness, not watched in suspicion, but in love. You have walked under divine observation, under an eternal gaze that sees every hidden motive, every silent tear, every unspoken prayer, every moment of endurance. And when the watcher comes into full view, something in your spirit shifts. You begin to understand why your life has unfolded in ways you didn't always understand, why certain patterns repeated, why certain battles were allowed, why certain blessings arrived unexpectedly, why certain people faded from your life. The watcher was shaping you. The ancient words recorded in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 12, verset 2, declare, "There is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known." This truth does not only refer to the secrets of the world, it applies to your journey. What was hidden about your identity is being revealed. What was quiet about your calling is rising. What was unseen about your protection is now being exposed. The watcher steps forward because the season of subtlety is ending, and the season of visibility is beginning. Imagine walking through a dense forest at dusk. For years you heard footsteps behind you, gentle, steady, constant. You felt them but never saw who they belonged to. You thought it might be danger. You thought it might be people. You thought it might be imagination. But now, as the path opens and light pours through the trees, you turn and see that the one who followed you, protected you, and kept you standing was God, not following from behind because you were alone, but walking behind you like a guardian who ensured nothing could strike you from the shadows. Or imagine a potter shaping clay on a wheel. The clay feels pressure, spinning, stretching, pressing. If the clay were alive, it would wonder why everything feels intense, why everything seems to push against it. But one day, when the potter lifts the pot from the wheel, the clay finally sees the hands that shaped it. That moment of recognition is what you are experiencing now. The pressure you felt was the hand of the watcher, forming you into the vessel you are becoming. And because of this revelation, something else rises, a quiet gratitude, a realization that you were never abandoned, never unprotected, never overlooked. You were being prepared. Now, as the watcher steps into the light, your influence increases, your clarity sharpens, your spiritual awareness expands, and the world does what it has always done when heaven elevates someone. It watches. People follow the movement of rising flames. They study the growth of newly strengthened wings. They observe the path of someone who clearly does not walk alone, and chosen one. As you move forward, understand this: your story is touching others. Your journey is feeding souls. Your growth is becoming a lantern for those still walking in their own fog. If this message has poured into you, let your engagement be your way of pouring back, like drawing water from a well that has revived your spirit. A like is a ripple. It helps this river reach someone drowning in silence. A share is a seed. It plants truth in soil you may never walk on. A subscription is a returning step. It keeps you within the flow of messages meant to strengthen you. And if you feel led to donate, let it be like adding oil to a lamp that continues to burn for countless others. Only if your heart is stirred, only if it resonates, only if your spirit confirms it. And before this section closes, leave a comment, your reflection, your resonance, your yes, your insight. Your words might be the rope someone else needs to climb out of a dark place. For now, walk in this truth. The watcher you feared was never your enemy. The watcher was always your father, and he has stepped into the light not to expose you, but to elevate you. There is a shift that happens when a chosen one begins to rise into their true identity, a shift that does not simply elevate you spiritually, but also draws attention from realms seen and unseen. You have felt this shift recently, like the air around you has grown heavier with meaning, like your steps echo louder than before, like your presence leaves a deeper imprint wherever you go. This is not your imagination. It is the weight of a crown beginning to settle on your spirit. When heaven crowns someone, the world notices even before you do. Crowns attract attention because they signify authority, identity, destiny. And though the crown you carry is invisible to the natural eye, it is unmistakable in the spiritual realm. Everything around you responds to it. People sense it without understanding it. Environments shift because of it. Darkness recognizes it and retreats. Heaven honors it and moves with you. You have entered a season where your very existence is becoming a signal, a beacon, a spiritual announcement that the calling on your life is activating in fuller measure. This is why the eyes on you have multiplied. Some watch out of admiration, sensing your growth. Others watch out of curiosity, unsure of what is rising in you. A few watch out of envy, recognizing your potential even before you fully embrace it. But all of them, consciously or unconsciously, are reacting to the crown. A crown is not just a symbol of elevation, it is a symbol of endurance. You earned this crown through battles that nearly broke you, through storms that shaped you, through valleys that taught you wisdom. You didn't receive it by chance. You received it because you refused to surrender to the forces that tried to extinguish your spirit. You kept walking when your heart was heavy. You kept believing when your hope was thin. You kept rising when your strength was small, and heaven took notice. The ancient words declared in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 11, reveal this truth with striking clarity. Hold fast to what you have, so that no one may take your crown. This is not a warning of fear, it is a reminder of value. The crown on your life is not fragile, but it is precious. It must be protected, honored, carried with intention. Not because someone can steal what heaven has given you, but because the world will try to distract you from recognizing what you already possess. And this is where your journey becomes even more significant, because when a chosen one begins to carry their crown with awareness, their influence expands naturally, not through effort, not through striving, not through performance, but through alignment. When you stand in who you truly are, others feel it. When you speak from your spirit, others listen. When you walk with authority, others take notice. You become not only a witness to your destiny, but a carrier of light for those who have lost theirs. Your crown draws eyes because people are searching for what you carry. They are looking for strength wrapped in humility, authority clothed in compassion, wisdom born from suffering, clarity anchored in faith. They are drawn to the way you remain steady even when shaken, the way you see truth even through fog, the way you choose peace even in turmoil. These qualities are not accidental. They are evidence of the crown, evidence of the shaping, evidence of the divine work within you. But understand this as well. Crowns attract attention from darkness too, not because darkness can defeat you, but because darkness recognizes the threat you pose. Your rise signals the rise of people connected to your assignment. Your clarity threatens confusion. Your healing threatens generational patterns. Your voice threatens lies. Your presence threatens stagnation. This is why certain spiritual battles intensified as you grew. It wasn't personal, it was strategic. The enemy fought you hardest, right before you stepped into awareness of your crown. Yet the fact that you are still standing is proof that darkness has failed. Now, you walk into a new chapter where the weight of your crown no longer feels burdensome, it feels natural, right, timely. You begin to see yourself not as who you were, but as who you are becoming. Purpose aligns, identity strengthens, vision sharpens, and as you rise, more eyes rise with you, not to judge, but to witness, because your elevation is not meant to be hidden, it is meant to inspire, not to intimidate, to awaken, not to glorify you, to reveal what heaven can do through someone who refuses to give up. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when the path ahead becomes clearer than the road behind, when you sense, deep in your spirit, that something has completed its cycle, and another chapter is opening like a dawn that cannot be stopped. You feel it now, the gentle but undeniable pull forward. Not the frantic push of survival, not the trembling steps of uncertainty, but the steady movement of someone who finally understands who they are. You walk differently now, not heavier, not lighter, truer. The fears that once held you do not grip you the same way. The doubts that once whispered at night have lost their authority. The wounds that once defined your choices no longer dictate your direction. You are not who you were. You are not even who you were a few sections ago. You are someone awakened, someone aligned, someone chosen. This final ascent, this last stretch of the journey, is not about proving anything. It is about becoming. You have walked through fire, and the fire did not consume you, it refined you. You have walked through storms, and the storms did not drown you, they shaped your endurance. You have walked through shadows, and the shadows did not swallow you, they revealed your light. Now, you walk forward, not as someone seeking identity, but as someone carrying it, not as someone hoping to be recognized, but as someone heaven has already set apart, not as someone watched by confusion or fear, but as someone watched by destiny itself. And yes, eyes are still on you, but now you do not flinch beneath their gaze, because you understand the truth. You were made to be seen, not for spotlight, not for ego, but for assignment. Your journey has never been private, even in your solitude. Heaven watched you, even in your silence. Your spirit spoke loudly. Even in your hiddenness, your light leaked through cracks you didn't know existed. And now, the world begins to see what heaven always saw, someone who carries divine purpose with quiet authority. This is why your steps feel different now, why peace follows you even in uncertainty, why clarity rises quickly when confusion tries to cloud your mind, why strength appears suddenly when old battles resurface, why your heart does not cling to what once held you captive. You are walking forward, marked, seen, strengthened, and chosen. And heaven confirms this truth through the words written by David in the Psalms, chapter 23, verse 6. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. Oh, not maybe, not possibly, surely. Goodness follows you because heaven has planted seeds in your future. Mercy follows you because heaven has covered the stumbles of your past. And purpose leads you because heaven has written your name into its design. This is why you cannot go back. Not because something is chasing you from behind, but because something greater is calling you ahead. The future you sense is not a dream, it is alignment. The peace rising in your spirit is not temporary, it is confirmation. The confidence forming in your heart is not ego, it is identity. You walk forward because this is the direction your destiny flows. And as you continue, something profound settles over your spirit. You no longer fear being watched. You no longer fear being misunderstood. You no longer fear rising. You no longer fear stepping into rooms where your presence changes the atmosphere. You understand now that being seen is part of your calling. Your life is a message. Your resilience is a testimony. Your growth is a revelation. Your presence is a reminder that God still chooses ordinary people for extraordinary purposes. And now, the watcher who once felt distant feels near. The path that once felt confusing feels guided. The identity that once felt fragile feels solid. The calling that once felt intimidating feels familiar. You step into the future, not as someone uncertain, but as someone marked by heaven and recognized by earth. You carry the weight of purpose with grace, the light of truth with confidence, and the fire of calling with steady hands. Chosen one, the world will watch you. Heaven will guide you. Goodness will follow you. mercy will cover you, and destiny will unfold before you in ways more beautiful than you expect. You walk forward, seen, known, strengthened, covered, crowned, and chosen. As this journey closes, chosen one, pause for a moment and breathe in everything that has awakened within you. You didn't just read words, you walked through a transformation. You rose through truth, moved through revelation, and stepped into clarity that was waiting for you all along. Something in you shifted, didn't it? Something opened, something aligned. And now, as you stand at the end of this message, remember, endings for the chosen are never endings. They are gateways. You don't leave this script the same way you entered it. You leave carrying more awareness, more confidence, more spiritual grounding. You leave knowing that heaven watches you, guides you, and prepares you for the path ahead. If this message touched your spirit, if it strengthened you, encouraged you, or opened your eyes, then let your engagement be part of the ripple it sends into the world. A simple like helps this light reach someone still walking through their night. A share extends the blessing to another soul who may desperately need the reminder you just received. A comment leaves a footprint, your own declaration, your own echo of truth, your own way of saying, "This spoke to me," and subscribing keeps you connected to every message that continues this journey of awakening and alignment. Only respond as your spirit leads gently, willingly, honestly, because this space is not about numbers, it's about souls. It's about creating a place where the chosen can hear what heaven is whispering. So, if this spoke to you, let it be known, let it be felt, let it be shared. The journey continues, and you don't walk it alone.